So can we start the lecture now? Can we able to see the screen? Can we able to see the screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, am I audible? Can you able to see the screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
What can you see on the screen? Can you able to see the reproductive health chapter name? Now,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. So is everyone came? Let me see. So shall we start now? I think how many students are there? Let me see. Just a second. Just a second. All right, let's start with the lecture. So, in the last lecture, we completed the chapter human reproduction. In that, we had studied about the male reproductive system, the female reproductive system, and the further growth that takes place after fertilization. We studied till lactation, means proper feeding of a baby. Now, uh, hope my voice is audible to everyone. Am I clear? Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So here the name of chapter is the reproductive chapter, and this is the fourth chapter. Okay, fourth chapter of first part, that is of 12th class. So this is reproductive health, which basically means that how a female or a male can be reproductively healthy. So we will basically talk about how we can keep ourselves healthy. So here we are specifically talking about reproductive health. So what is the meaning of reproductive health? So here we will be talking about condition of the health once a male or female attain maturity. How a male or a female is called to be a reproductively healthy. So, according to WHO, that is called the World Health Organization, they framed out one definition for reproductive health. What was it? It means a totally well-being in all aspect. If I'm talking about in all aspect of reproduction, that may be physical, emotional, behavioral, or social. What does it mean? Physically means a person or a male or female should be physically healthy. There should not be any damage or there should not be any weakened organ in them. And more precisely, if I'm talking, then they should not have any problem in their reproductive system. Second thing is emotionally. Once a male or female undergo puberty, once it attempts puberty, so what happens? There are so many chemical changes take took place. So due to what happens, sometimes a person become aggressive, a person become very uh, short tempered. So that person should be calm mind, kind, right? Then their behavior should be attractive, and the most important thing that it should have a very decent and good relationship with the surrounding people. That comes under the social. So this is the definition of reproductive health by the WHO, that is World Health Organization. So that's why one should have a normal or emotional behavior among the surrounding people. Now, अब बात आती है कि to keep that society healthy, reproductively healthy, what are the steps taken by the government and what are the health problems related to reproduction. So when the government had went through the surveys, they come up with the things, they come up with the data that shows what are the reproductive health problems and what are the solutions and what are the censuses is a way, one type of a way of keeping the records about health and other perspectives as well of individuals. Okay, so in that what happens, they collect the age of person. If it is having any problem, then they write, they collect all the data related to it. Generally, in early stages, if I'm talking about medieval period of India or world, that there what happens is girls. If I'm talking about girls, girls are married at a very early stage. So that time what happens? Their ovaries are just in the developing phase. Okay, so they are not that much enough mature to hold a fused fertilized zygote, but since they married at a very early stage, sometime they married at 10 or at the age of 10, at the years age of 11. So that time too, they are not even undergo the reproductive period. So that time what happened, they are married and they wait till she become a reproductive. So that That time this thing happened, and they try to make that woman to hold fertilized zygote in a very early stage. So what happens, like that the fertilized egg, if see once it attains the reproductive age, so when this type of activities happen, so that time what happens, that uterus is much not enough mature to uphold that fertilized egg. It is just in the phase of its development. So it directly harms or affect the life of a woman. Okay? That leads to high maternal infant mortality rate. Now, what is high maternal rate? Infant mortality rate. This means when see sometimes what happens, it affects the woman to ultimately, but so in the way it will affect the growing embryo and fetus as well na? So sometimes that leads to death of the woman, and sometimes that leads to death of both the developing fetus and the woman. That leads to the fertility rate and the infant mortality rate. Now what happens, since they do not have a knowledge, they have a lack of awareness, what happens, particular home produces like 5 kids, 12 kids at a span. So in this in turn increases the population size. So what is the harm in increase in population size? Because to fulfill the needs, to fulfill need of everyone, we should have a sufficient amount of food, and that time we are we are facing lack of food. So some are one of the reason of decrease in the infant mortality rate is also the lack of food availability. So and that time some old peoples are such that they have some myths and misconceptions related to sex related issues. Like in very old time, what happens if a lady die, if a husband die before a lady, then what people have a misconceptions that that lady has no future. That's why what they do, either they they don't allow that lady to perform any of the activities that a normal woman performs, or either or else what they do, they killed that woman in the same fire in which that husband has been fired. So that is such types of misconception performed in old times that related to so many sex related issues, and even the harm to the woman health, that ultimately leads to factors like decrease in infant mortality rate, then high maternal rate, and so on. Now, here, can you able to see the screen of strategies? Just let me know in between so that I'll be in the wave that yes, you all are getting this right information as I'm trying to give you. Am I audible and clear, visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, fine. So now, what government specifically will be talking about India? So, what strategies and what plannings has been executed by India to enlight this type of issues? So, to overcome this type of issues, so they bring out one planning or program that is called family planning, and that initiative was initiated in 1951. Please remember this date because sometimes this question arises, when first time family planning initiated in India. So that is what 1951. So along with that, under that program, one more operation was launched, and that operation was reproductive and child health care program. So this program was launched in few years after the initiation of the family planning, that is in 1997. Now, what is the purpose of creating such operations under the family planning? The purpose is to create awareness among the people related to reproductive aspects. Now, what they do under this family planning? Under this thing, they started collecting information about a particular family, and they in this way they try to collect information each and every family. They try to awaken them about, and they try to clear the misconception of the people about the reproductive health. They make them they understand about the family planning. They tell them what are the importance of this, what are the bad effects of this, what it leads to this, whatever the misconception in that, they try to clear it, because that time education was not that much widely spread. So they try to educate the people by going to particular house. So in this way, they try to make people aware about the things. Now the next thing is that we know is, can you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So here what at school level, see different stages are there, where on particular stages we can bring about so many different ways by which we can educate a person about these aspects. So if I'm talking about at the level of school, what things we can do? So we can introduce sex education in school as one topic where we can educate the students about right information about their growing age, what changes happen in them, and if changes happen in them, what they have to do. And they see, if parents have some beliefs, they will definitely transfer that belief to their future generation. Future generation means ultimately to you guys. So there might be some of the misconceptions. So it is the duty of school that they should remove these misconceptions and give a clear idea about the aspects. Now there are so many things. We school can provide information about adolescence, what are the changes happens under adolescence, what are the safe hygienic practices, what is STD, that is sexually transmitted diseases, what are the curable and non-curable diseases under it, what is AIDS, and how we can help people. And also the most important uh, thing of in spreading these things to what we called students, is that students is the best way to spread this knowledge more widespread. How it could be possible? Students can convey this message to their parents, and parents can spread this message to surrounding, and students even can do the same thing. So that's why sex education should be encouraged in school. That's why the purpose of introducing this chapter, reproductive health, is one of them. Now, in the last chapter, we studied about the development of a fetus and the entry of the fetus into this living world. But what should be the postnatal care one should take care of? what should be the things that we should care of a woman or a just formed a woman, just form a mother. What are the things? In what way we should take care of a female or a newborn baby? Now, these all things are comes under the reproductive health, that creating awareness about the sex related aspects. These all comes under the reproductive health. Here there is a very important term is there. I just want to highlight that term. Just a second. Now, what is it? Here it is one important word. Let me highlight that word as well. Hmm. The word is aminosynthesis, and this word gradually comes in your exam, that define aminosynthesis. What is aminosynthesis? So, for kind information, I want to tell you they have written that statutory ban on aminosynthesis. So, somehow it is related to determination of the sex of the fetus, developing fetus during its development in the mother womb, or we can say in the mother uterus. It is, firstly, it is illegal. Secondly, what is the procedure to perform the aminosynthesis? So it is generally take place with the help of amniotical fluid. So how the doctor perform aminosynthesis is, they put injection into the uterus and they take amniotical fluid. On the amniotical fluid, they on that amniotical fluid, they test and they come to know the amount of they come to know the amount of X chromosome and Y chromosome. On the basis of that, they estimate whether the developing fetus is a male or a female. It all why, you might thinking that, ma'am, if it is illegal, then why did they introduce this? The perspective of introducing this, purpose of introducing this aminosynthesis is to, if a baby has some disease in its early stages and that can be curable, so how one can come to know about the disease, so that amniotical fluid can be used to determine the identify the disease as well. But people made the use of it in a wrong way. That's why this aminosynthesis was banned. Also, it became illegal. Earlier, people used to perform, and what they do, if it is a girl child, they try to kill that girl child. If it is a boy, then they allow that fetus to develop, otherwise, they kill that girl child. This thing happens, which result in the lack or decrease in the number of females, which we can call a decrease in the number of females, and aminosynthesis promote female feticides. Female feticides means what? The decrease in the number of females in the population. Now, what are different? What happen? What are the results of implicating these things? So now, how can we keep a male or a woman or reproductively stable? We can keep a woman reproductively stable or healthy by giving a strong infrastructural facilities in the hospitals, then ideas or suggestions by the professionalist or the expertise. The next thing that we can provide the medical assistance. Okay. Also, we can aware them about the reproduction related aspects like reproduction, pregnancy, delivery, STDs, then abortions, contraceptions, then menstrual problems, infertility, etc. Now, what is more important that that's fine, we can provide information, but implementations of this information at correct time is very important. So we can create small clinic centers in the villages so that they can provide the information to all the village women especially, because in village areas the hospitals are not that much developed, which result in the decrease in the number of females. Now, yeah, there is one line written over here. Wait. Huh. This is very important. It's just a question, but this question, this statement comes in the form of question in the example. So here there is a one word called Saheli. So this is a type of a contraceptive. Now you don't know what contraceptive is, so we'll in for further slides will come across with the term contraceptives and explain you what contraceptive is. So Saheli is one type of a new oral contraceptive. And what is the purpose of this oral contraceptive that I'll tell you later on. So this was introduced. Saheli was first produced in Central Drug Research Institute that is situated in Lucknow. Please mark these note this thing. Now here is one talk. First we talk about population. Now we'll talk about population exclusion. Now the first thing we should know about what exactly this means. This means increase or tremendous matlab sudden increase in the population, and the growth rate of population is called population exclusion. Now if we see in 1900s, yeah, if we see in 2000s, that time we observe that our world population reached to 6 billion. Okay, so it was around earlier it was 2 billion and it take a huge jump and reached to 6 billion by 2000. So this is so happen that if we go on counting now, then every sixth person of the world is none other than Indian. So this is what told about the entire world population. But out of them now, 350 millions at that time are of India. So if I go on a correct estimate now around, then I can see that 1 billion of the people are from India in May 2000. So that means if there are 6 billion people by 2000, that means if 1 billion people are there in India, means every 6% is Indian only. So very huge population. Today also if we see that the highest population is of China, and after China, India comes. I'm talking about Asia. Now, what would be the reason for the high population rate? Now, the first thing I already I'm telling you since a few minutes as well that not getting a correct information and having a misconception leads to one of the most important reason in causing high population growth. Reproducing 5 to 10 infants from a single mother can one of the important cause or reason behind the high population growth. The next thing is a decline in the maternity mortality rate. Then slowly what happens that maternal mortality rate goes on decreasing. Also, due to not properly developed uterus and having that zygote can leads to death of the premature baby. That also leads to the decrease in the infant mortality rate. Now,
Ma'am, what
according to
is MMR?
2001 census report, it was observed that population growth rate was still 1.7%. So this means this population could be double in the coming 33 years. Now, one thing that you need to keep in your mind that a person is should a person is called to be healthy if it has a proper food, good state of shelter, or a proper clothing. That means a person is healthy. These are the basic requirements that a person aspire. And if it has three or if it has all three states in a good condition means that person is healthy. This is the idea behind a healthy person. Now, what step should one can take to reduce this population growth? Population growth cannot be reduced or decline in one day. Sure, it takes months and year, but initiative definitely have a impact. So now, earlier, as I told you, they married a girl at the age of 10 years, even at 5 years as well. Didn't see a age. So government has decided that we will set a age period for both male and female for marriage. So they decided and kept that a girl and a boy should be able to eligible to get married at, if I'm talking about a female, then it is 18 years old, and if I'm talking about a male, then it is 21 years old. So these are some of the steps. Now the next thing, earlier what happens, they feel that women are just a machine to produce the babies, and they produce invasively 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 13, 15, 20 numbers of infants. So they promote a they promote one initiative that state hum do hamare do means if we are two and we should have two more, not हम दो and हमारे चार हमारे 12. It should not be done. So this way can somehow contribute to reduce the population growth. And you know, government has some year government has, even today also, if a first child is a girl child na, and if it is a single child, they that girl can complete their entire education till her marriage. All things should be provided to her in a free. This thing started. Then they started, if people having one girl child, if they people having one or two kids, then it is okay. So the many different initiatives are generated so that to maintain this thing statement true. And people also follow one child norm, matlab having one child only. Now the second aspect is the birth control. So birth control, how can we control a matlab how can um, people can control a birth? So where, what happens is that there I see sometimes by mistakenly also this thing happen. Being a biological student, you should understand this chapter more easily because this chapter is introduced in 12th, because that time the students are enough mature to understand the idea behind this thing, what idea draw the importance of this thing. Now here comes the term contraceptives. Contraceptives are the methods that can prevent the entry of sperms into the female body. And that contraceptives are many types. So we'll just go through each and every type of that contraceptives. Okay, so should be what should be type of a what should type of a contraceptive? So see, generally, like if I'm talking about the condoms, if I'm talking about the pills that generally male or a female consume to prevent fertilization, these all comes under the contraceptives. Now the question arises: what should be the comfort level of contraceptive? The comfort level of contraceptive means what type of a contraceptive should be of. So it should be user friendly. User friendly means it when if a person is using this, it should be enough comfortable that that person do not feel any pain or any uncomfort, comfortability while using this. Then it should be easily available. Then the third thing is it should have, and that is the most important thing, that it should be with a very low or no side effects. Now the next thing is it should not disturb the sexual drive or the sexual act of the user. Now what are different ways to prevent the birth control? Means what are different types of the contraceptive methods? So first is the natural. This is important as well. So yeah. First is natural and traditional methods. Second is barrier methods. Third is IUDs, that is intrauterine devices. Fourth is oral contraceptives. Fifth is injectables and implant. And the fifth, what we called it as the sixth is surgical methods. Now, these all things are the different types of contraceptives that people started using it from their earlier stages. Now, what are those? Let's start with first, that is the traditional or the natural method. Okay, just before going ahead, I just want to confirm: do you all clear with the topics that I taught you right till now? If not, just let me know so that I'll explain the topic once again. Because these things are very easy, but seems little hard in first view. So, did anyone has any issue or doubt regarding the previous topic? Hello.
Ma'am, what is MMR?
Sorry, Athav, your voice is not coming that much loud. Like, just a second, let me increase the sound.
Ma'am, I didn't
Okay.
understood MMR.
Sorry, MMR. Okay, maternal mortality rate. Okay. Anybody else? Any other doubt? No one has no one having doubt. Everything is clear.
Yes.
Okay. So Atharv has one doubt, that is what is maternal mortality rate. Acha. Can Atharv, you only tell me what is maternal means? If I say maternal mother, what maternal means? No idea. Okay, fine. So maternal mortality leave means the number of females that is bearing developing fetus. So what happens is, in the early stage, if I'm talking about a female, in the early stage, what happens? That female is not that much developed to hold a fertilized egg. So if she holds a fertilized egg, a fertilized zygote, so that time what happens? That times maybe due to improper release or improper functioning of the hormones, or the not stable what we call position of the fertilized zygote took place in the uterus. Yeah, maybe that uterus is not that much capable of holding that developed zygote. So that time what happens? It leads to the death of that lady. So ultimately the death of female. So maternity mortality rate means the number of death of female per it is per birth. So sometimes what happens with it? Either that female dies, or sometime both the infant, the developing fetus and the female dies. So if I am talking particularly about the maternal mortality rate, means here the death number of females I'm talking about. And if I'm talking about the infant mortality rate, it means I'm talking about the number of the infant that dies per per birth. Am I clear? Am I able to
Yes, ma'am.
clear your doubt? Okay, anybody else? No one is having any doubt from the previous topic. Shall I move ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Also, before going into this, I want to ask a question to Athar. Uh, in the objective test, no, in objective test also you are scoring a less marks. What is the reason behind it, Athar?
Ma'am, actually, I got to know about the test a day before.
Yes.
How? But the information about the test is informed on a particular day, na?
बात
To
कौन कर रहा
everyone,
है?
isn't it? So how can you come about the matlab means about the exam one day before?
Ma'am, it was mentioned in timetable, but I didn't saw the timetable.
This should not be repeated, na? You should take the things
Yes,
very,
ma'am, it won't be repeated.
yeah, it should not repeated, because as you want to join armed forces, what would be your first quality? That you should take everything seriously, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it is not just for Atharv. As I could see everyone's result, and I don't feel that those questions are that much difficult that nobody has score out of it in them. I'm particularly talking about biology, and those questions are so easy. Nobody has scored out of. That is very bad news. Only I could see, like Sonali has done good job. How much you scored out of 210? Is it of 210? Objective exam is of how many marks?
Ma'am, 60 marks each subject.
So PCMB, if I am 240, okay, 240, then how much Sonali you had scored? Sonali, are you there? Sonali? Okay. Tell me everyone. Anjali, how much you scored?
Ma'am, I was absent that day.
Okay. Atharv, you how much you scored out of 60?
Ma'am, total marks are given.
No, he had mentioned particular marks as well, na? How much you scored in biology, how much you scored in physics, how much you scored in chemistry, and how much you scored. Maths is not there. Didn't he given you particular marks in each subject?
Ma'am, it's given.
That's what I'm saying. I can see now. Okay, Gayatri, you are the new one. This is your first class, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a new joinee?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Megha, how much you scored?
Ma'am, 40.
Out of each question carries how many marks?
Ma'am, I don't know. Ma'am, 2 marks.
Okay, 2 marks means 30 questions were there. So you scored 40, right? So do they have negative marking as well?
Yes, ma'am.
So we can't identify how much one scored. Okay, how much Neha you had scored?
I don't know about bio, but I scored 194.
Out of 240, right?
Ma'am.
Okay. So might be that was you only. You ranked second, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you scored good marks in chemistry. The highest marks you scored is in chemistry. I'm not happy with your biology marks. You have to work hard. Next, Pratiksha, how much you scored?
Ma'am, I was out of station, so I have not given the test.
Good. Then Preeti, how much you scored?
Ma'am, in biology, 44.
44. Sanika, how much you scored? Sanika. Are you there, Sanika? Okay. Means, yes, Sanika, how much you scored?
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Ma'am, I've not given the test because I just joined last week.
So you are also new joinee?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Means two students had joined recently. That is one is Gayatri and the other is Sanika. So rest of them, Sonali is given the exam. Anjali has not given the exam. Even the Atharva also not given the exam.
Ma'am,
So
I have given.
you had given, but you scored less marks, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
now what I from if you want to ask from me, then I'm totally not satisfied with your marks. Who had scored? Yeah, there is one girl. That is Neha. Neha is going good, but still Neha can do much more better. She can score 240 out of 240. So Neha work towards it, and rest students can start their preparation from now only. Acha, tell me about this Sanika and Gayatri. What do you want to do after 12th? Do you want to go for MBBS or some other courses? This question is for both Gayatri and Sanika.
Ma'am, for MBBS.
And what about Sanika?
Yes, ma'am, same.
Okay, you are from which school or
I'm
college?
APS Digi.
And Sanika, Gayatri, you are from which school?
Ma'am, same APS Digi.
Okay, fine. So, guys, as I already told you, and today also I'm telling you that if you are those who are preparing for MBBS or more precisely NEET, so they'll be giving the NEET in 2022. So, like taking gap is one of the risk. I feel it is one of the risk thing. So you can do your preparation from this year and you can score more than 500 in the NEET exam. If you take it so seriously, then it can be possible to score more than 500 in more than 500 in 2022. So for that you can't score the mark just by studying this NCRT part, because 70% is of NCRT and 30% is of other that contain extra information rather than NCRT. So what I want to tell you is that if you really wanted to do or wanted to clear the NEET exam, you need to do extra, you need to put the extra effort than this. And see, to master, to score more than 500, one should master in two subjects. Either it be physics and biology, either it be biology and chemistry, either it be any one or any two of them. So once you can see, if I can't waste others' time, so those who are willing to give NEET in 2022, they can form their separate group and can add me in that, so that I can give you the idea or information about that exam. And also I told in the last lecture one of the students that create a biology group, that if I come across with any of the information other than this, then I can provide directly in that, so that this time will not waste. So without wasting the time, I'll move with the natural methods. And also if anybody is having doubt related to this NEET and other things, they can contact me, or rather than this, create a group of those students so that I can help them directly instead of helping a particular person. So let's move to the natural method, that is one of the method of the contraceptives. So natural method or the traditional method. To going deep into this now, I wanted to tell you one thing, that natural methods and traditional methods has almost zero side effect, because here we are not using the chemicals. So how can it be effective? And sometimes it is not also sure that it gonna work, because it is totally depend on the idea. Now what is it? Now first thing is the periodic absentence. Now what this absentence means, generally what happens, this couple avoid the coitus from day 10 to 17 of the menstrual cycle. You all had gone through the menstrual cycle in the previous chapter, that is the human reproduction. So there what happens is, I taught you the changes or the period from 1 to 28th day, which period is called as menstrual phase, which period is called the follicular ovarian, then which period is called the what we call, that is the what we call different phase of a menstrual cycle. There are 4 phases of a menstrual cycle, as I discussed it. So from 10th day of the menstrual cycle till 17th day, the couple prevent coitus. Now one thing is there. Why they prevent coitus from 10 to 17 days? They prevent coitus from 10 to 17th day of menstrual cycle because what? Acha, tell me what happens on the 14th day? Anyone? What happens on 14th day? What happens on 14th day? Anybody? No one?
Ovulation.
Very good, Megha. Ovulation. That's why. See what happens from. See, we can have a little bit of idea as we have gone through all the information related to the menstrual cycle. So we can have a little bit of clear idea that what is the position of that ovary, what is the position of zygote, what is the position of not zygote, of ovary from 10 to 14 10 to 14 day. So what happens is started form it start forming secondary oocyte. From secondary oocyte, what is the ultimate result, what it gives as a product? The egg and the second polar body. Now that egg means at the 14th day, correct, what happens, that level 14th day is also called LH surge. Why we call that as LH surge? Because that time the level of luteinizing hormone is at a high peak. That's why it is said that to that time the chances of fertilization is much. That's why they prevent the coitus from the 14 to 10 to 17th day. Now, one might may in one's mind may this type of question arises that how can we predict which day is today? That can be done. See, start from your menstruation. The day your menstruation start counting from that day only. If your menstruation starts from today, start today, count today as one, and go on, start counting. In this way you can have an idea about which day is the 10th and which is the 17th. Now that's why it is written that as the chances of fertilization is very high during this period, it is called the fertile period. Agreed. Next thing is the coitus interruptus or withdrawal method. I already told you, and again I'm telling it today, that if you had gone through my notes, you would not be able to leave any of the questions in your, or in it also most of the questions that are coming from the NCERT can be covered by my notes, but not the all. For all you have to study some extra. Now coitus interruptus or the withdrawal method. In this what happens is this term itself defines what the meaning of this thing. This is nothing but during the coitus what happens is that male partner can withdraw penis from the vagina just before the ejaculation so as to avoid the insemination. So what it means, if I talk in a normal language, then it means that during coitus a male partner can keep attention and can withdraw his penis from the vagina just before the ejaculation. Just before the ejaculation means just before the entry of sperm into the female body so as to prevent insemination. To prevent that penis to seminate. That can be done. This is called the withdrawal method or the coitus interruptus. Now the next thing is the lactational amenorrhea. This is also from its term itself defines that what is lactational amenorrhea. We had come across with the word lactation in the previous chapter. What was that? Lactational amenorrhea. Lactation means feeding of a feeding of a baby. So here what happens is that when a woman give birth to its baby, that mammary glands are fully developed and it starts secreting milk for the developing baby. So that time it is such that menstrual cycle do not occur during this period until or unless that mother fulfill its baby properly or completely. So that time, and generally it lasts for 6 to 8 months. So until and unless that mother feeds the baby fully, so chance of conception is almost nil. So that time, why it is almost nil? Until and unless menstruation cycle does not take place, the chances for menstruation is almost nil. That is the fact. That's why it is said that no medicine or devices are required in these methods. That's why side effect is almost nil, and chances of failure though is high. See, this is all just idea, okay, but it definitely gonna work. We can't say this. So in this, it is not true that every time it gonna success. It can fail, and since it is a natural method, so risk of failure is high. Clear, everyone? Shall I move ahead? Now we went through natural or the traditional methods whose side effect is almost nil. Now we'll be discussing about barrier methods, and these barrier methods are also have less side effects. Okay, so first barrier method. What barrier method means? Barrier means what? Something that prevent the contact of two things. If two things are there, if I put something in between of two things to prevent the direct contact of both the things, is nothing but the barrier, na? That is the barrier for both the things. The same thing, barrier methods. So we can have a little bit of idea. Means these are the methods that can prevent the contact of ovum with the sperm. So in barrier method, the first method is condoms. So condoms are nothing but these are the barriers. These are nothing but the thin rubber or latex sheath. So what they are just simply cover matlab rubber covering is there. So what it is like, this covering gonna cover the if I can say vagina in the female and the penis in the male, so that ultimately it will prevent the what it will prevent, it will prevent the entry of the sperm into the female body, or that vagina will not allow the what we can say sperm to come into the female body contact. Now the next thing that we can Anjali, please unmute you, please mute yourself. Anjali, mute yourself. Okay, thank you. The next thing is, as I told you, that it will not allow the what we call the contact of semen into the female body that is in contact with the vagina, because that vagina is covered with the rubber sheath. Okay. There is one popular brand of this condom in male is the Nirod. Nirod is one type of what we can say the name of that product. Okay. Then also see this can help because it prevent the entry of the semen into the female body. ठीक है. So it can see sometime unwanted sexual abuse also happen. So that time that lady is not aware of the what we can say, that person, whether that person is free from sexual STDs or not. So use of that thing, condoms can prevent STDs. ठीक है, between the female and the male users. Then the second barrier method is the use of diaphragms, cervical caps, or the vaults. These are nothing but these are caps made up of generally rubber that can be inserted into the female reproductive tract to cover that cervix, so that it will not allow the uh, semen into the female body during the coitus. So since it will allow, so what it will do, the cervical caps or the diaphragm, what they will do, they will block the entry of sperm into the cervix. Okay? And it is not one time usable. It can be reusable. You can use it for more than one time. Now the some jellies and some creams are also there that can be used and that can be applied on the area like vagina or this penis to prevent the allow of semen into the female body. Okay? These are some of the barrier methods. Then next thing is IUDs. This is the third method of contraceptive, that is the intrauterine devices. And these are such that they specialized person or doctors are required for insertion of these devices into the respective body. So if I'm talking about the intrauterine means these devices are in what we call inserted into the uterus, and these are inserted through vagina. So if we talk through the emotional way, then it is slightly what can we say, slightly risky and painful as well. So generally those women who wanted to delay their pregnancy or to keep the space between the children, they can have this type of devices. So generally this type of method is used or practiced in India. There are three types of the IUDs if I'm talking about. So there first is the non-medicated IUDs, then copper releasing IUDs, and hormone releasing IUDs. So as I've said that non-medicated means these are generally, see, in this what you have to remember is what the function of these intrauterine devices. They generally ask us this thing, okay? So I'm just highlighting this. So just remember what is the function of these things. So I don't want you to forget about these things, because question arises in need to this thing, this types of question mostly comes. So just to have your mind on these things. Wait, okay. So non-medicated medicated IUDs mean they increase the phagocytosis of the sperm within the uterus. Now here comes the term phagocytosis. Can anybody tell me what is phagocytosis? Anyone? What phagocytosis means? I told this word in first chapter as well. What is the meaning of phagocytosis? Didn't I told you in case of amoeba?
I mean, engulfing by pseudopodia.
What engulfing? Eating.
No, ma'am. Endocytosis type of.
Okay. Now, what is endocytosis then? Okay, fine. Listen, phagocytosis. Here, phago का means क्या होता है? Eating away. और cytosis का मतलब cell. Here means phagocytosis का मतलब होता है destroying or eating away of the sperm within the uterus is called the phagocytosis. And now this non-medicated IUDs may this come what it does, this Lippi's law. See, example is very important. That's why I highlighted it with yellow color. So please don't forget the examples. So Lippi's law is one of the jelly-like substances that is used or inserted into the uterus through the vagina into the female body so as to increase the phagocytosis of the sperm. Means what if in chance sperm enters into the female body, so it prevent the sperm to reach to the what we called that is ampullary stomach junction where the actual fertilization take place. So if it is applied into the uterus now, so whichever the amount of sperms enter into the female body now, that Lippi's law, what it do, it generally perform the phagocytosis, means it start destroying that sperm. Next is the copper releasing IUDs. Example, if I see the examples, then CUT, copper T, we can say copper T, then copper 7, then multi-load 375. These are the copper based IUDs. So they generally what function is the same, that they increase the phagocytosis of the sperm. So copper what do it do, that it suppresses the sperm motility. So sperm motility means the power or the energy by which the sperm swim into the female body and reaches to its target. It suppresses, it depresses its motility, so that sperm speed decreases, or also the capacity, fertilizing capacity of sperm also decreases. Wait a second. Okay. So can you able to see the screen now? Wait. So here I'm talking about the copper. So here what I was telling, so one more function added to it, that is nothing but the that it suppresses the sperm motility. Now the last is the hormone releasing IUDs. Now we had talked about the non-medicated IUDs. We talked about the copper releasing IUDs. Now we'll be talking about the hormone releasing IUDs. So the example is progesterone and LNG-20. These are the example. Please learn these examples because MCQs going to be formed from these examples only. Now, what hormone releasing IODs means? Hormone releasing IODs. What is most important function of this thing? The most important function is that it make the uterus unsuitable for implantation and cervix hostile to sperm. Means what? Means it create environment such that it will not promote implantation, because if in chance that egg got fertilized, now what would be the further step? Its step is the implantation. But since this is hormone releasing IUDs, means somehow the level of progesterone will be high into the uterus. And what would be the ultimate result of progesterone? It leads to the menstruation, isn't it? Or it if the number if it is the if there is an increase in the level of progesterone into the uterus, so it become slightly unsuitable for the implantation, because you had seen that during implantation what happens, corpus luteum starts to grow. Means since corpus luteum is rich in progesterone, the level of progesterone is high, but what it do, it gonna disturb that cycle na. So that's why this LNG20, then progesterone, these are the hormone releasing IODs that gonna make that cervix hostile to the sperm. Got my point? Am I clear from my side? Am I clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
No doubt. No doubt. Okay, now the other contraceptive is the oral contraceptive. Now here it is a sort of hormone releasing IODs. So this is very important, and I'm going to highlight this thing. And the thing that I told you about the Saheli, that is where it is produced. It produced in Lucknow. That is Central Drug Research Institute, Lucknow. Now, oral contraceptive means these are in the form of tablets. They can consumed in the form of tablets. So these are generally the tablets of estrogen or progesterone, generally taken by the females. So what it do, they ultimately, since they are of hormones, so they ultimately increase the level of hormones that is of estrogen or progesterone. So by examining the level of estrogen progesterone, we can predict what is going to be happen. But the one thing that need to be kept in mind is that these pills should take on particular day. Dekho, what happens is that this thing, if I'm talking about na Saheli, so there are na 21 days ka tablets is there. So this suppose if there are na 5 tablets, if there are like 20, 30, they usually give the time period of tablet. So they also mention the number of day in that tablet, because every day the level of hormone is increasing or will be different on every day na. So to increase or to maintain that level, the amount of progesterone in that tablet also varies. That's why uh, suppose first tablet is on first day, second is on second, third, then so on. So level of progesterone or estrogen, whatever the amount of hormone present in the tablet also varies. Means it increases the level of hormones as the day increases. Okay, so generally they take for the pills. If I'm talking about the tablets means pills. So they have to be taken daily for the period of 21 days. And after gap of 7 days, after gap of 7 days means uh, once suppose menstruation occur. So during that time you need not to take that pills. After the menstruation over now, after that you can follow the same pattern. Okay, so that female can prevent the conception, avoid the chances of what we can conception. Next thing, what ultimately do a function of pills, that they inhibit ovulation and implantation. Also it prevent the entry of the sperm. Now these pills are not very effective, but with a lesser side effect. That's why these are well accepted by the females. But sometimes now they also affect the physical body of a woman. They can create fattiness into the female body also, or sometimes increase the fat deposition of the fat on that uterus. Then next thing that you have to keep in your mind is Saheli. That this is nothing one of the non-steroidal preparation. So, like, but Saheli usually take place once in a week. Am I clear? Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this topic is remaining. After that, I'll give you the break for half an hour. I'll just complete this injections and the implants, and after that, I'll give you the break. Okay, so injection and what are the implants? So these are also injectable. And implantation means they are implanted under the skin. So if I'm talking about injections now, so injections generally are of progesterone alone and can be the combination of estrogens. Okay, so that if I'm talking about females now, so in females they are injected or implant under the skin. Okay, so generally, see, ultimately what are their function is either to retard the growth of sperm, to reduce the to affect the motility of the sperm, or phagocytosis of the sperm. These are the functions of contraceptives. Now, see, if a subjective type question comes, then you can write these things in any of the contraceptive, you are going to get the marks. But if the objective type question is there, then you should be specific about the answer. Okay, now administration of the progesterone or progesterone estrogen. Now this is very important, very much important. See, unwanted or unwanted and what we can say sexual harassment, that generally are rape cases. In that there the chances of entry of sperm into the female body are high. So what can we do in that period to prevent the fertilization? So in that period, what they do, they generally first determine whether this thing happened. If this thing happened, then this one injection is there that is called the progesterone estrogen combination injection, that is injected into the female body within the 72 hours of that coitus. 72 hours means 6 days. No, 24 means 3 days. Within 3 days, no, so within some particular day, within 3 days, they have to inject these IUDs injections into the female body so as to prevent the fertilization or possible pregnancy. Now, the next thing is the surgical method. So surgical method, this is very important again. And generally this question arises in exam. So just a second, I'll highlight this thing. Maybe you're not able to highlight it on the earlier thing. Just a second. Okay, fine. Now, surgical method, also called sterilization. There are two types of surgical method. One is the vesicotomy, other is the tubicotomy. If I'm talking about, see, very easy to remember those things. Vesico means vas deferens, means it is related to male. Tubicotomy means it is related to fallopian tube, so it is related to women or females. So if you're talking about vesicotomy, in that what happens, generally the vas deferens is tied or cut. It's cut and tied so that to prevent the end, so that the prevent the sperm to come out of the female body and enter into the male body. This is one type of thing that can be done in male body. Or now what is the female what tubicotomy? In tubicotomy what happens, generally the fallopian tube either removed or tied up by through small incision. Incision means small cut. They can perform small cut and tie that fallopian tube so that it will not allow the ovum from that ovary comes out of that fallopian tube. This is called tubicotomy. So tubicotomy performed in female. So these techniques are highly effective as their reversibility is very poor. Means if somebody has performed tubicotomy or vesicotomy, then if they wanted to continue that things, then it almost impossible now, because that time what they did, they cut down or tied it now. That's why the reversibility is very poor in this case. If I'm talking about the technique about what is it effective, so yes, it is very effective as it will not as it is a permanent solution for the same. So am I clear? Do everybody understand what I tried to convey, or any doubt? Just please feel free to ask any doubt. I want you with zero doubts, so that. And also one thing I wanted to tell you that as already I made the paper for this chapter as well, so you'll be getting this thing in the coming week. So in the previous chapter, that is the human reproduction, just go through menstrual cycle as precisely as you can, because I put the question based on that, and I don't want anybody to make it wrong, because if the concept is clear, you'll be able to solve that question very easily. Do anybody has any doubt? Any doubt? Just reply, give me the feedback, give me the answer. No one is having doubt? No one is having the doubt? No one is having the doubt? Did everyone slept? Megha, Priti, Sanika, no one is having doubt?
No, ma'am.
So shall we take a break and we'll meet by 6? Reply fast so that I can close it, and we'll meet at 6. Already it's 6:35. Sorry, 5:35. Shall I stop? Shall I stop? Okay then. Bye bye. We'll meet at 6.
Yes, ma'am.